There was some breaking NFL news this past Saturday evening. Reports indicated that the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals agreed to a blockbuster trade that sends Pro Bowl defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence to the Bengals. In exchange, Cincinnati is sending its first round number 10 overall pick in this year's draft to New York. Who do you all think won this trade? Is it now Super Bowl or bust for Joe Burrow and the Bengals this upcoming season?
I think it was a even trade because from the Bengals standpoint, you get to replace Hendrickson. You paying under market value for the D tackle that you got because he's worth more than $28 million in today's market. It's only a 1-year extension. You have a history of drafting terribly other than Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. You can't find anybody anyway, so that 10 pick was probably going to be a bust. So they win. And then with the Giants, you now have 2 picks, I feel like in the top 20 at least. You got 2 picks in the top 20.
2 picks in the top 10.
Top 10.
Yeah, so even better. So you have one of the best defensive lines in football. You have a quarterback who you think gonna be your future. You got a brand new coach. Now I get to add 2 talented pieces, whether it be on defense or offense, because they can get Caleb probably now to sew up their back end, and they got that fierce front four. They got Scatterboo. They can even have a luxury pick and go thunder and lightning and get dude from Notre Dame. Yeah, like there's a lot that they can do too. So I think this was both of them break even and win this trade.
Go ahead, Sheldon.
I look at it. All right. I look at it from the Bengals standpoint as a loss. I do like Lawrence. I really do. But if you're trying to build for your future, and we know that the Bengals aren't really trying to pay anybody. We know how they do with money. Long term, that 10th pick could have been more valuable than bringing in Lawrence, because you're going to have to pay him. And when it comes time to pay, we know historically they don't want to pay him. That's the whole thing that they just had with Hendrickson in itself. And as far as the last part of that question, the Super Bowl or bust, was that it?
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals. That's serious?
That was part of the question. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely not. This team should be focused on a rebuild at this point, because you're missing right. You didn't take an answer. They are so far away from playoff contention. Making the playoffs from a wild card perspective should be the goal at this point for this team. You have too many holes to be thinking about Super Bowl. It's just nowhere near in the cards for this team to make the Super Bowl.
You said they should have kept that 10th pick and it could have possibly been something.
Yes.
Over the last 10 years, the only 2 good first-round draft picks they've had were Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. So they 2 for 10. So most likely that pick wasn't going to be shit if they had it. The Giants might make it do something. They ain't going to do nothing with it.
I agree, but the thing of it is you got to start trying to compile some talent. And what they did was traded a pick
the
for
know-how in the front office to get the talent. They got lucky with Burrow, and then Burrow told them to draft Chase, and them the only 2 draft picks that they had. So really only 1, because Burrow drafted Jamar Chase.
They could do
they
won draft.
They won for 9
pick.
out of 10. They won right. So no.
But like I said, because they don't want to pay anybody, I think this speeds up their timeline by bringing in Lawrence, and there's no need for that. I don't think he's the answer to all their problems. So in saying that you're too far away, that play should be reserved for a team like the Chiefs, or a team that's like have been there or close to being there. Even the Chiefs, to put some talent beside Chris Jones, somebody who is close.
Too far away.
Yeah, the Bengals are too far away to be bringing in a player like that.
This trade made a lot of sense to me, and there's a reason why. Who was the defensive tackle they drafted last year?
It was
glad you asked, kid. I got the picks pulled up. Shamar Stewart.
That was the DN. Yeah, that's the DN.
Defensive end.
Okay, well, all right. Was he good? Can he play?
Stewart?
He got hurt 7 games in.
No, that's a long answer for no. And Amarius Mims is who they drafted before that. and Miles Murphy before that, and Dax Hill before that. Any of those 5 players good?
Mims is a good offensive lineman.
Okay.
Either way it goes, they whiffed apparently, and also by things that happened in the media, by even some of Nick's commentary around that time, they just whiffed on that pick. They reached and didn't get it, didn't do a good job at it. We know one thing is Dexter Lawrence can play, and I think they already re-upped him or did something with him with his contract, so I think they may be good there. So that's why I think it makes sense to me with everything that went down last year. To answer the second part of the question, for me, it's Super Bowl or bust every year when it comes to this. Now, whether they do it or not, that's a whole other matter. But when you got a Super Bowl caliber quarterback like Joe Burrow, who's played in a Super Bowl, who was really close to winning a Super Bowl, then yes, the expectations should be Super Bowl or bust. And then he's held to that standard. We can look at the reasons why it didn't happen, him getting hurt or always staying hurt, and the defense, whatever. But I don't think we should let him off the hook for that. I think we should critique and grade him accordingly. And I think when you make a move like this, that they're thinking the same thing. Their defense has been bad for the most part for the last couple of years. There's been a complaint that I think Nick has been saying, if I remember correctly. So, it makes sense. Shore up the defense. You get a guy up front. You control the trenches. And then Joe Burrow got to go do what he needs to do. He got to go out and handle his business. So at that point, it's on him. But, I think it's Super Bowl or bust every year with him. Got to be.
Working on building a dream space, but don't know where to start? At the Home Depot, we can help you bring your dream project to life. Whether you're building a backyard oasis, a podcast studio, or a wellness space, we've got everything you need in store and online. With project guides and free delivery options, it's easy to go from dreaming to doing. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is only $2.50. So you can get your gym gains on or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I heard a lot of things I didn't like. There was a few things that I did like.
The truth you heard, though.
I none of it was really true. I'll start off with Shelton's comments about them being cheap. That is one of the most false narratives. And Ken, I always try to call out certain organizations that be doing cheap shit that they don't really paint as cheap. I.e. Cowboys. y'all gave up Michael Parsons because y'all so cheap. The owner went to the player and said, "Hey, nigga, I'll give you $50." He's like,
the Bengals are the cheapest franchise in football.
That was the sidebar. That's the reason why I bring that up is because when it's time to pay people that deserve to be paid, we pay them easy. Meaning quarterbacks and wide receivers is what mostly this team is really known for. Going back to Carson Palmer to Andy Dalton, now to Joe Burrow, they've always paid their quarterbacks. Going back from Chad Ochocinco to AJ Green to Jamar Chase, they always pay their wide receivers. Now you're seeing that they're paying other positions that they value, that they see a value. It was a mistake to let Jesse Bates go for money, but that was a gamble that they took because if we sign Jesse Bates, we may not still have Higgins and Chase as a duo. So some people may say it should have been broken up or not. But nonetheless, I'm trying to get to the point of we pay people. Dexter Lawrence was looking for a contract extension. He got that as soon as he touched down in Cincinnati. He's already got 2 years left on his deal. They added an extra year, so it's a 3-year deal. He's 27, 28. So by the time he's 31 or whatever, where he's looking for a next deal, that's their Super Bowl window that the Bengals are looking at. So we'll address that at that point. As far as the trade itself, I think it is a win-win. I've been sitting on this thought for a while, like who really got the better end of the stick. But right now, the Bengals, like Ken said, feel like they have a Super Bowl caliber. They know they have a Super Bowl caliber because he took them to the Super Bowl. Quarterback, they say, like, we have to win now. He's been hurt last couple years in his prime. So it's like we got to utilize the time that we have now. To lose point, I've been looking at their draft picks since I was born. So I know what this last decade has been, especially this last few years with Burrow, where they've literally spent every first round pick outside of Amarius Mims on defense, whether it's a corner like DJ Turner or Dax Hill, to Miles Murphy, to Shamar Stewart. Like they've spent a lot of money and resources on defense, and it has not paid out at all. So them looking at the 10th pick in this draft, where basically it's a 9-player draft, especially when you're talking about the first round. You can probably find some talent elsewhere, but it's a 9-player draft as far as the niggas you really want. They're at 10. That's like, we can't pick we haven't been able to pick a good pick. So let's give it up to get somebody that's a guarantee. Now, Dexter Lawrence was coming off of a bad year last year with the Giants, but he's a proven talent. He's an all-pro. So he's going to help out with a double team in the trenches to make sure that we can get a better run game because, again, the defense is shitty. So him being on the team makes it better. I think it's a fair trade. I think the Super Bowl or bust thing is true for him, Josh Allen, and Lamar. I have them all on the same playing field as far as, like, when they don't make it to the Super Bowl, we should have questions why, because they're all too talented for that. So, yeah, I'm expecting that this season. The Bengals have to go to a Super Bowl this year, or at least compete deep in the playoffs. If they miss the playoffs all again, it's going to be hell in Cincinnati.
And you're going to be the Hellraiser?
He more likely.
I'm going to be the Hellraiser, too. I'm be like, get T. Higgins out of here.
The thing about Joe Burrow, he more likely to get hurt than go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
You can say the same thing about Lamar. Him and Lamar have missed the same amount of games as quiet as is kept.
Yeah,
you're right.
Nick, I think you just have with this trade because it's going from one of your teams to the other. That's why I think you.
I wasn't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? This is like if Donovan Mitchell went to the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I wasn't really mad at it, and the one thing I'm going off of is the track record, because the last time they made a trade between the Giants and the Bengals, that is what brought BJ Hill to the Bengals on their Super Bowl run. So it's like, there's good karma trading with the Giants. I just think this is about as even as you can get as a trade. Now, this is pressure for the Giants, so if we move it on to them, because this is setting up your future from last year to this year. Last year with Jackson Dart, Abdul Carter. Now this year you can possibly get Sonny Skiles, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love, the Tate boy, the wide receiver. Like, you can get two of them. Two of the top 5 players in this draft, you're going to get 2 of them.
Yeah.
They have to pan out. You know what I'm saying? Still. So, like, these picks is like, you doing all these moves. In the next 3 years, the Giants should be competing in that NFC East for sure.
Correct.
What do you think? You think that they should get somebody to go on the other side of Neighbors? Or you would go defense?
I think you can't go wrong. Like if you asking me, I can see them going double offense, like going for an offensive lineman and trying to get Tate or whatever. Or I can see
they need some talent in their defensive backfield. So I could see going to Downs, and I would go because
I would go Styles though. I would go Styles.
I would go Styles.
If Styles is there,
you already. Oh, well, they did lose Lawrence, but I was going to say you already got Abdul Carter, you already got Brown, and it's one more person on that line that's good.
Burns,
who's like
Brian Burns.
Yeah, Brian Burns.
Yeah, you got Burns, and you got
Abdul
Carter, and you got Thibodeau. That's what I'm saying. Why? I mean, you can, but that's really a luxury. I would get somebody on offense to see is Jackson Dart really that dude. Whether it be another wide receiver to go with Neighbors, whether it be Love from Notre Dame. I want to see if I'm giving you weapons, like what you gonna be able to do with it. I need to know that now.
But you also are looking at a hardball offense, though, Lou. So I can see them going.
One of the reasons why too.
No, but I'm saying he's just gonna go, like, he got Isaiah Likely there. You got Malik Neighbors. If you draft Jeremiah Love and, you know, who's basically a wide receiver too, at least what people are talking about in his draft portfolio is like he's a running back, but he also can catch out of the backfield. I'm trying to think who's a Neighbors.
If you got Love and Neighbors on the field at the same time, you got a problem.
That's a dangerous offense already. You don't need a wide receiver. Yeah, so I think he's more likely to draft Jeremiah Love than the kid from Ohio State. Either way, though, I think the Giants can do no wrong in this draft. However, because that's my thought, they have to get the right picks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't have a bust when you had 2 top 10 picks.
That's true.
Over the last 2 years. Because then they have Abdul Carter and didn't they have 2 first-round picks last year?
Yeah, they traded up to get Jackson Dart. Yeah. So yeah, they did.
Uh-huh.
But both of them was like they showed promise. It wasn't like they were shitty. It was just like they was injuries played a part.
I'm not. Yeah, you're right. It ain't. We don't know that they were bad or good picks yet. I think they both are
this season
promise, as you said.
Yeah, it's to be determined. This is the year.
Yeah, facts. But adding 2 more top 10 picks to that, like you ought to be cooking with hot grease. And you got a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
I'm wondering if they're gonna. I'm thinking they're gonna move on from Thibodeau too. I'm thinking they're gonna replace him.
They talked about trading him, but they were saying like because they already made a trade to get into the top 10, they may not want to. Because not because of that. It was because they lost Lawrence. Like, yeah, because they lost him. It's like, do you want to like their D line was supposed to be what really sells tickets, you know? But like, if you start taking pieces away from that, that doesn't really help your defense either.
But I just look at it like, and it's nothing like 3 great defensive ends. But you have that position solidified. It'll be different if you could climb back in the first and get rid, or even the second round and trade him out and get another talent in for a different position. That would make sense to me because you got bookends in Brian Burns and the rookie. What's his name?
Abdul Carter.
Carter, yes. So those are your defensive ends of the future and present, if you ask me. So Thibodeau's the odd man out because his contract is due up. I think he's due this year. So it's saying that I would trade him and see what I could get for him at this point, because he's not going to be a substantial part this particular season. So, and there's teams out there with needs at that position. So,
but the thing is, when his rookie year, he had like damn near 12 sacks, and like it just hasn't been the same since.
Yeah.
So I'm just,
it's a defense where you can play all 3 of them together consistently too.
They tried that last year. They tried it last year at times, and I don't think it had a lot of success. It worked sometimes, but
it was effective.
It didn't have a lot of success.
I saw twice against it was effective as far as being twice against the Cowboys in the other game. That like they were able to get pressure on the quarterback.
Which is why I think Sonny Styles is going to be their 5th pick, like they first of the 2 that they can get.
Yeah,
I think
excessive though.
But you sure up that whole front 7. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about
that. Where are you playing Styles at? Are you playing him on the defensive line or linebacker?
No, linebacker, but he can also play. He can also play safety too, because he was a safety that went to linebacker. So like he can help cover. So if you got him and then Caleb Downs falls to you too, that you got.
To me, that's it.
You got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed 2027.
To me, that's what that is. That would be all time for me. And then they're familiar with each other. I think that'll be set in stone. Like I said, that's the next 10 years.
But then at the same time, Jeremiah Love with Jackson Dart, bro, because Scottaboo ain't shit. Scottaboo's gonna be in concussion protocol permanently in 2 seasons.
He'll get like break it for your main back.
Well,
break that.
In when does Tennessee picked before them, don't they?
Yeah, they picked it right before.
I think Jeremiah. They're gonna pick Jeremiah Love. It's who I think they will pick. We'll see, but
they don't have no O line. I would think you would go with O line.
I would think so too, but at the same time, as talent, that's best available.
They are opening. So. Yeah, they opening a new stadium up next year too. Yeah, so they might go for the glory.
Right, and you can get some offensive linemen later in that second round, third round that are just as effective.
Yeah, I mean, Love wouldn't be a crazy pick for this. I know a couple weeks ago I thought it would be an insane pick, but knowing that they opening the new stadium up, they probably want somebody to put beside Cam Ward that they can market and get out there and put on tickets. Love gonna have some explosive plays next year.
And on top of that,
that's undeniable. They may not be good, but he's gonna have some plays that you can put on the highlight reel at the end of the year.
And on top of that, Tennessee has no weapons. They have absolutely no. They have no. So like,
no one talks about the Titans. Yeah, so correct. He makes some big plays. He can get at least. If Love is well, I don't know. When they had Chris Johnson, did people talk about the Titans?
They did.
Yeah.
So like they even talked about the Titans when they had Kerry. Remember, Kerry Collins took them to 9-0. Yeah. Kerry Collins was balling with them randomly one season. They thought they was going to the Super Bowl, but No, yeah, I like that coaching staff that they got in Tennessee with what's his name, dude who used to coach for the Jets,
Saleh.
so Robert Saleh, and they got Brian Dable as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting what they could do in Tennessee.
Yes, it will be. Because both of them, that's a great defensive mind and a great offensive mind. And you're working with talent on both sides of the ball. They do have some talent there. It's just that they're not named talent at this point. So when you say that, they need more. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They need more. They need more talent to surround that talent, but they still got something to work with, if nothing else.
They got Simmons, and they got, I think, the quarterback. He's gonna eventually be all right. He's gonna have to throw the ball.
I think Cam's gonna be a star.
I think so too.
I don't know about that. He's gonna be a good starting quarterback. I don't know.
He's gonna be a star.
He has the confidence and the work ethic to be good like that, Lou. He really does.
I don't know.
It's just a matter of getting him some weapons.
He can be good. I won't deny that he can be good. I don't know about a star.
I think he's gonna be like, but this is my projection of him. But like what I see his future, he's gonna be like the Ant Edwards of the NFL for Tennessee. Like he is going to be he's going to be a star that's like he's casually himself. He can make plays. Because I looked at some of them Tennessee games, like them throws he was making. It's the fact that they had plumbers he was throwing to, but he was making some throws and he was dealing with that shitty offensive line. That's what I'm saying. They're going to look at that offensive line because they got to protect him. I know I wouldn't be mad if they took Jeremiah Love, but I also be like, bro, shirt up your quarterback.
Yeah, make sure you protect him. You got to protect him and keep him upright. Yeah, y'all right there. Henry was the most valuable Titan.
No, not ever. It was you talking about ever? It's McNair.
Would it be McNair?
It's McNair. Yeah, it's McNair. And then because they went to a Super Bowl, McNair, Eddie George, Blaine Bishop, like all those people before Henry.
Yeah,
people love that. Kevin Dyson, Frank Wycheck. Yeah, like they went to. They was a yard away from winning the Super Bowl. Yeah, Al Del Greco. They love Al. They love Al Del Greco in Nashville. Show.
Del Greco.
Yeah, they love that kicker, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah,